Spring in Eastmarch is different compared to the other parts of Skyrim. Due to the large concentration of hot springs, it tends to be a little warmer here than, say, the Pale or Falkreath. It's believed these hot springs were made through a battle between the hero Wuunding and a Daedra. Of course, this is only a tale. The springs could have easily been natural, but tales like this one inspires the young to pursue a life of battle so they too can become famed warriors. Though the trip to Kynesgrove from Windhelm is a short one, the change from chilling snow to humid winds from the springs is enough to wear anyone out. Oddr, now one of Jarl Hoag's personal guardsmen, was coming home after being at Windhelm for nearly a week. His actions in the war, risking his life on several occasions to protect civilians as well as fellow legionnaires, made him a war hero, but his accounts of the Battle of the Red Ring spoke volumes to those that would hear. The Battle of the Red Ring was bloody, Oddr remembered. He took part in the southern offensive of the battle that kept the Dominion from escaping the Imperial City through Lake Rumer, but they held the line, forcing those escaping into a watery grave. Then, after fierce fighting in the city, the war soon ended. Oddr and his company stayed in the Imperial City for some time to ensure no surprise attacks unfolded while the White Coat Concordant was being finalized. The banning of Talos worship, while hurting the morale of the Legion, was no hindrance to Oddr. He could just worship in secret and no one would know. After the peace was finalized, Oddr and those in his Legion slowly but surely went home. Oddr stayed behind longer to help find missing soldiers, but in time, Oddr returned to Skyrim and is now a hero in his own regard. More importantly, a hero to his only son. "Ula, I'm home," Oddr hollered as he entered their cabin. Removing his cloak, one bearing the Imperial Dragon crest, and placing it on a nearby rack, Oddr walked by the fireplace and sat down in a chair. "Oddr," Ula's cheerful cry resounded from one of the bedrooms. "I'll be out there in a moment, dear." "Take your time, love," Oddr replied. The Nordic legionnaire removed his Imperial gauntlets and placed them on the floor beside him. The tree that ended the war 2 years ago wasn't widely accepted in Skyrim. The outcry against banning Talos had many believing the Emperor was willing to sell out his own people. One didn't even have to look far for proof, as war against the Dominion still waged on in Hammerfell. Even Hoag's son, Ulfric, called the Emperor weak, but not Oddr. Oddr, like most Nords that served, was proud of his service. "Ulfric," Oddr muttered, just thinking about the soon-to-be Jarl, that is, if he's ever released from prison after what happened a year prior in Markarth, was enough to give Oddr a headache. Ulfric, a Nord still in the prime of his life, headstrong in what he believes, but will hardly listen to the counsel of others, especially those that agree with the Concordant or outsiders. Oddr believed that one day the young man might stir trouble for Skyrim, but to suggest such a thing to Hoag would be fruitless. Still, Oddr had some respect for Ulfric, for he's one of the few individuals capable of using the Storm Voice. That alone commanded some ounce of respect. "Welcome home, dear," Ula said as she came into the living room, her voice pulling Oddr from his thoughts. "How was the Jarl this week?" After giving her husband a kiss on the cheek, Ula sat down beside him, eager to hear his tales. Concerned for his son, other than that, still in the same condition as 2 weeks prior. "Not well then?" Ula asked, to which Oddr nodded for confirmation. Ever since Ulfric was taken into custody a second time, Hoag's health had taken a drastic swing negatively. Already plagued by old age, the stress of Ulfric in jail did little to help his health. "I fear at this rate, Hoag won't be long for this world. I often hear him whimpering before falling asleep at night. He misses his son greatly." "The love of a father to their only son remind you of anyone?" "Aye," Oddr said. He often forgot that Hoag only had Ulfric, although he could never figure out why, nor did it really concern him to know. Those thoughts were Hoag's alone. "Speaking of only sons, where's Eirik?" "He's up by the old mound practicing." "By the Dragon Mound? And practicing for what?" Oddr exclaimed. Why would Eirik go there of all places? "He wants to be like his old man," Ula said playfully. "Plus, the arena don't let children in their practice yards unaccompanied." "Why is he alone anyhow?" "Oddr, he's 7. He wants to explore, and I told him to go no further than shouting distance from the village." Ula then got up and rested a hand on Oddr's shoulders. "You need to have some faith in him. He might be young, but Eirik is already proving to be a resourceful lad. Go see for yourself." With that, Ula then returned to her chores, leaving Oddr alone in the living room with only his thoughts as company. The fabled dragon mound of Kynesgrove was only a stone's throw away from the village, as it rested on the cliffs just above it. But Oddr never much liked that place. It said that Hoag Helmblug slew a dragon named Solokinir in Kinesgrove. After a fierce multi-day battle, Hoag then entombed its remains not far from the village, and then built the mound in honor of the defeated foe. Often, Kinesgrove is referred to as Dragonwood in honor of this tale. While the tale fascinated Oddr as a child, he even tells it to Eirik sometimes at night. There's something about the mound that Oddr never liked. Whenever he stood in close proximity to it, it felt like something lurked within, waiting for the right time to strike. Rounding the bend, Oddr felt a chill go up his spine as his eyes laid on the rocky mound. Thoughts of bones bursting through the ground were enough to cause the legionnaire to buckle. Yet, Oddr stood in place, for he needed to find his son. Eirik! Oddr heard faint grunting coming towards the back of the mound. Eirik! Oddr yelled once more. He stood at the edge of a rocky path, which then conjoined into a dirt path that continued on to the mound. And screening around, Oddr saw no visible signs of his son, though there was still a faint grunting noise. Eirik, come out here, son. Your mother said you'd be here. No response. Must you make me get near that thing? Oddr said defeatedly. He'd rather be back at the Battle of the Red Ring than sit 1 foot closer to that mound. Swallowing down his fear, Oddr strode around the mound, staying as far away from it as possible, and kept circling it until Eirik came into view. Eirik, get down from there. Oh. The young lad looked down at his father, for he stood on the mound itself. Hi, father. Eirik waved to his father, with a wood-cutting axe in his right hand. How's he all? Hoag's as well as he could be. Now get down from there before you fall and trip on that axe of yours, Oddr demanded. As Eirik climbed down, he couldn't help but know how much his son had grown these past few years. When he first returned home, Eirik was buried past his kneecaps. Now his head goes past his waist, and at this rate, Eirik will surely tower over him. Oddr wasn't a short man by any means. He stood around 6 foot, but Eric's height was an indication of a man destined for battle or adventure, if the omens are to be believed. Now, why in Soon's name are you out here alone? Oh, Eirik said, embarrassed. I wanted to train. Train for a fight against a tree? Oddr pointed to the wood-cutting axe, which only made Eirik even more embarrassed. Seeing the red forming on his son's cheeks, Oddr sighed. Your mother said you wanted to be like me. Is that so? Yeah, Eirik perked up immediately. Not just like you, but like Wuunding in Eskimo. Like Wuunding in Eskimo? Now why is that? To find Sovngarde, Eirik said with no hesitation. Why do you want to find Sovngarde? Well, Ingo said that only great heroes can find Sovngarde and then be able to enter it after death. And where did Ingo hear this? Oddr said, barely able to contain laughter. From his father, Eirik said. He looked puzzled by Oddr's reaction at the outbursts he made. Kezel is a milk drinker who knows nothing about Sovngarde, son, Oddr said. Sovngarde is not a place to be found while living. Only those that die in battle can enter Sovngarde, or those that sure allow. Oddr paused to put a hand on Eric's shoulder. A legionnaire called Skadan the Freewinter had a dream of Sovngarde before the eve of the siege of the Imperial City, and he spoke of being Eskimo. Skadan faced tremendous fear, but Talos granted him a visage of Shor's realm. There he spoke with Eskimo himself, who said to him, a Nord is judged not by the manner in which he lived, but by the manner in which he died. Oddr could tell Eirik thought greatly about this dream as Skadan's. Son, you could be a great mage, a fine warrior, or a simple farmer for your whole life. A Nord can only go to Sovngarde and laying their life down in battle, whether for himself or to protect others. So while you yet live, seek not a place among the dead, but one among the living. Okay, father, Eirik said cheerfully. Behind those innocent eyes, a new outlook began to form for the young Nord, one that would stick with him to the end of days. Now, how about we head back, and in the morning I'll teach you how to properly wield that axe of yours. Your form was sloppy, but had plenty of room for improvement. Okay, father, Eirik said, then the two began to walk home. Father, can I ask you something about the Great War? Of course, Eirik. What is it? I was wondering, were you afraid of being out there alone? My son, I wasn't alone. For you see, I served, as you know, in the Imperial Legion. And in the Legion, we consider each other brothers and sisters. For we're all out there doing the same thing, fighting against the foes of the Empire to secure our homelands, to ensure our families had something to live for. I wasn't afraid for being alone, Eirik, but I have my brothers and sisters in arms at my side. Now let's head home.